If you're here to learn 5 beginner filmmaking tips, you're in the right place. I'll see you in a minute. Now, the first tip that I just wanted to introduce you to real quick, that way you could get a first-hand look at what's going on. I got a few examples and you'll be able to see the final outcome. Because it's in films that I had previously made, this was actually a short film, kind of pushed into a music video. It's called Northern Lights. And the idea behind this was to kind of match the energy within the filming itself and within the song, because we were working off a song. So it was a drumming part, and the drumming part actually introed and brought the video into the filming that we were doing. So there's a quick drum beat, and then I knew that I was going to use a certain feature on the cinematography. It's called a box flip. So I was actually planning on this ahead of time, and I knew what we were going to do with it. So use that same effect right now. Okay, the second tip that I wanted to show you here is a little more artsy in a way. And what I mean by that is that you kind of plan it within the video and what is happening, or your film. And this was another short film that was pushed into a music video called The Reason. And what I done with the camera at this point is I took the camera and I actually zoomed it manually, zoomed it toward the talent, and then I moved off left and then went right up toward the wall. And the reason that I did that is I knew I was going to be able to use a flash effect, and the following scene past that, I knew that it would go right into it. Now, we had more of a darker setting at a hospital scene, and you'll see that in this clip that's coming up. And then I moved it right into the wall, and I was able to use a flash effect as a good transition, and the scene kind of matched it in an art. And why don't you check out what I'm talking about right now. All right, now the third tip that I wanted to show you, it's a little bit on camera movement, and it just kind of created a mood. It was, don't be afraid to be creative and to use your ideas. And what I mean by that, let me show you here. Now, obviously I'm not filming with this. This is some little old Sony that I've had, but to be able to show you the actual camera movement in the following clip that you're about to see and give you an idea of what I did. Now, this, like I said, don't be afraid to be creative, because this was just something that I kind of felt more than you know, going by all the rules. You do need to know the rules before you break them, as they say, but this goes completely into a creative mode. So I'll show you what I did with the camera, and you'll watch the following clip and you'll be able to see what I'm talking about. So what I did on one of these clips was I zoomed in, and I actually manually walked across and zoomed in to the talent or the actor, and it created an emotional moment. And I thought a really slow like zoom, as simple as that sounds, and I know a lot of people have done that, but I did want to bring it up here and I'll show you a clip of that here along with the other clip. Now, the real creative clip that I'm going to show you that I did was I went like this, zoomed toward the talent, I moved over, and then I moved up and in. So again, don't be afraid to be somewhat creative. You can see behind the lens what you're doing there, and you know, try it a couple of different ways. Now, I'm not saying completely copy off this, but if you watch this clip now, you might see what I'm trying to get across to you. Why don't you check that out now? Okay, and in that last one, you may have noticed that that had a little bit of an artsy movement to it, and this one kind of feeds off that a little bit too. It's more about your own creative expression, and it's a video that I did called Northern Lights, a little bit about aliens. It was a little bit of a silly video, so we had a little bit of fun with it. And if you think about aliens and spaceships, you always think about, you know, the alien ships going and zooming and going off. So what I did, and I'll show you with this little model camera I have here, and just another tip, make sure you take that lens cap off. But anyway, let's get back to this. Okay, if we go and we're thinking about aliens and spaceships, and there's an alien right there in front of me, instead of just putting it on a tripod and sitting it still, I love to have the camera in my hand and be able to do these little notions like I showed you on the last clip. And this one, we take and we turn the camera itself into a space shuttle. And if you watch this clip, you'll see what I'm saying, but I actually go up and go, if I'm filming myself here, go, and then actually have it go up and hover off. And if you want to go ahead and check that out, you'll see what I'm talking about here. All right, and for this final tip, now before I do get into that, I did want to ask if you could like this video and subscribe if you're learning or it's helping you in any way. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Now, this fifth and final tip, again, it's a little bit of an emotional connect with your audience, and there's a constant in each one of those videos, and the reason, and Northern Lights, that is. In the reason, there's a constant, it's a baseball. You'll notice there's a shot that I actually do a creeping zoom to make an emotional connection to that baseball. And then at the end of that video, you'll notice that when the kid is gone, there's a baseball sitting in that medical bed. So that kind of represents an emotional connection there. Now, Northern Lights, because it was an alien and spaceship and just kind of silly, you know, there was the alien that it would always bring his hand up and he would do something similar to this. Because we've always seen the sci-fi films, you know, we've all seen those that, you know, the aliens are coming, they're threatening, and it just created a little bit of emotion from the alien. So why don't you check both of those clips out now? And again, make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the second video on some more tips and tricks.